Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The Wrath lost! But every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time. Forget yourself now. If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Listen between two beers.
Getting down.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means.
It means we're partying once again. I'm looking at that number, 237. That's 237 times since we've asked you. You know what that means, and 237 times, I still do not know what that means.
Yeah,
so
it means,
if you could tell the fine people and myself what it means, that'd be great.
Yeah, it is another new episode of Between Two Beards, and it is a big one this evening. We have our pal Phil Lindsey joining us. We'll be bringing him on momentarily. We're going to talk some Full Gear and have some fun chatting some wrestling and graps with him, which we are very much looking forward to.
Which also means we're going to talk some basketball, and I got to ask him what's going on with the Bulls when we get them on.
I'm going to sit out. As the Celtics fan, I'm going to sit out this one. I don't got much to discuss. I don't have much to discuss currently, so I'll chime in occasionally, but I'm going to sit off to the side.
I've got the Boston Anger theme ready to roll, whatever you get going about the Celtics. But we got Fernando in the house. Dan Brown's in the house. Did you download Dan Brown's comedy album?
I did.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was trying to hear my isolated laughs. He didn't isolate them, but I was there. So
yeah.
But it was good. It was good times. Dan's the man. But yeah, we got a crazy big week, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It has been a crazy week. We got a good weekend ahead, Full Gear Saturday, and then we get the holidays next week and Survivor Series, a bunch of stuff going on, but we're good, man. We're good. Things are good on your end as well before we start getting after this?
We're hanging in there one day at a time, what we can do, right? Wrestling was at least wrestling was pretty good this week. So it looks like this weekend's going to be pretty solid. So, yeah, man, I'm chilling. I'm not excited for the holidays in the sense that my wallet is going to be quite light.
Yeah, it is that time of year.
Yeah, buying stuff that the kids will play with for a week and then just be like, we're bored of this.
Yeah, I hear you. But go ahead. I'll hit the button if you want to cue him on.
No, you want me to do it? I get to do it?
Yeah.
You all know him. You all love him. He's the man. He's the myth. He's the legend. He's Phil Lindsey. He's one of our favorite guests. He's been coming on this show since almost the beginning. We're super psyched to have him on. Of Grapsody, Fightful, you know him. We're going to talk some wrestling, some basketball, whatever else Phil wants to talk about. We kind of just let Phil do what Phil wants to do when he comes on the show. So bring him in, and then he'll tell us what we're doing tonight.
The great Phil Lindsey. How are you, friend?
What's up?
I am good. Kind of tired, but I'm good.
Good.
Kind of tired is like the theme of this show. For to pull back the curtain to go full beards on everybody behind the beards. Every week, JPJ goes, "How you doing?" And the first thing I say is, "I'm tired, man."
Yeah.
230 episodes. I go, I'm tired, man.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. No, but thank you for taking the time and joining us tonight. We appreciate you hopping in. Yeah, so I mean, lots to talk about, obviously, but we do have AEW Full Gear this Saturday. They had the go home show, Collision, the 3-hour in Boston last night in my neck of the woods. I thought it was a pretty good show, fun. How are we feeling about Full Gear in general, Phil, heading into the weekend? You think the build, and before we start diving into the matches and talking more in depth, like in general, how are you feeling heading into the pay-per-view weekend about how things have been going?
I don't think this card is that exciting. I think it's a lot of rematches.
Mm-hmm.
I think the weekly show has been good for the past few weeks. I thought Blood and Guts really delivered.
Yeah.
I think that they've done a lot coming out of Blood and Guts and the tag team tournament to build towards this pay-per-view. But, AEW doesn't have bad pay-per-views at this point. Like, they have good to really good to great pay-per-views at this point. So I'm sure the pay-per-view itself is going to deliver. But, like, when you look at the card on paper, it's like, well, when you look at it, these matches are like, all right, well, yeah, I'm sure that match will be good. But nothing here is like, ooh, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Well, that would be an interesting exercise, and I'm sure somebody's done it somewhere along the way to like rank the AEW pay-per-views and try to find like a bad one. Like it would be hard to do because like you said, every single time we get to this point, no matter what the build is, they tend to deliver. Yeah. As advertised or not advertised, you leave the show going, hey, that was a good time. That was worth my money. That was worth 5 hours, whatever it may be. But yeah, like I wonder what the worst AEW pay-per-view was.
I had to go back. I don't think they've had a bad pay-per-view this year. They've definitely had pay-per-views that weren't that great. Like,
first one that pops into my head is the exploding barbed wire death match, only because the ending was so bad. But I think the show overall wasn't terrible.
Yeah, that was Revolution.
Yeah. But I think it was such a bad, botched moment in terms of that pyro that it ruined it for everybody. So I guess we could start there as the basis of our talk.
It was a bad ending, but I still think the match itself was good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not good though.
No. But that's where you kind of have to you have to be like, we have to start somewhere. So I guess if it's the worst ending they've ever had, that's where we start. But yeah, that's always a good thing. That's a good problem to have, especially. I'll make this point really quick. We don't have to go too far down this rabbit hole, but when they switched over from doing 4 to 5 a year to 10, 11 a year, we were worried like, oh, is the pay-per-view going to suffer because now you're just doing more of them? And the pay-per-views have been hit and the builds have been a little suspect here and there, but yeah, so that's a good, they've been able to figure that out still and get your $50 or whatever you pay a month for their pay-per-view worth. So
yeah, big time.
Ope says World's End 2023.
That's what he said. He said World's End 2023 wasn't that good, according to them. In the
no, Full Gear, I know, like the main event of Full Gear is probably one of the worst pay-per-view main events they've ever had.
Yeah.
But Full Gear itself wasn't a bad pay-per-view, but yeah, Jay White versus Max was not really good.
No, did not live up to what we all thought it would be.
Hashtag I believe in Phil Lindsey.
There we go.
Maria's in the chat. Welcome in, Maria.
Yeah. So we have, the tailgate. They're doing the tailgate thing as again. That seems to be what we're going to be doing for the pre-shows from here on out. Seems to be the vibe, and it seems to be that we get a solid 4 matches every time there. So we have Big Boom AJ returning. He's teaming up with QT Marshall. I don't know when they became friends, but they're teaming up against Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta. I assume Big Boom AJ and the Rizzler will get the
Riz man,
and they'll do their thing and they'll win that one. I would assume. Pluggo, I know you're excited about this. You're a mark for the Rizzler, so I know.
Listen, I can't help it.
Yeah,
I like fun. I like fun things in my life, But
yeah.
The Riz man, he's got his own signature meal at Hardee's now.
Well,
oh boy! Wow.
You've made it when you got a signature meal at Hardee's, dude.
Is he on like the front of an Arizona can too?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he
is. I remember when they kind of that thing started. It was they were the Costco guys. It was AJ and his son, Big Justice, and they were doing the Costco thing, and it was cool. And then it slowly morphed into this own universe where they have all of these side characters, and like the Rizzler kind of took. It's crazy to think like all they did was like, we're gonna go to Costco and eat a double joint, and now they're wrestling on an AEW pay-per-view, baby. We're the best wrestled, my guy.
Yeah, nah. Rizzler's the star of this whole thing, man.
Easy.
I can't wait for us to see a commercial pull up of him like looking out a window, and it's like all these canyons and stuff in the background. He's riding like in his truck, and then it pulls out, and he's like doing a Canyonero commercial. Canyonero.
They get pops, man. He gets a pop when he came out last time with Orange Cassidy, and he was dressed like Orange Cassidy. Every time the match like shifted over to the Rizzler, like everybody went like whatever he's doing, it's working, man.
Bro, he's gonna start selling us SUVs soon, man.
That's right. Kid can't even drive. And he's like, when my parents drive me around, it's in one of these.
In a very spacious SUV, I have enough room to put my feet up. I can have my iPad in front of me and watch a few things. Watch a little AEW.
Well, I'm eating my Hardee's signature meal, which is like it's like a bacon cheeseburger, but I think it's like a grilled cheese bacon cheeseburger type.
Oh,
it's definitely something where you're like that sounds like a Rizzler.
So like grilled cheese, or
I'd have
patty is a grilled cheese. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I think I'll look it up while you guys talk about the intricacies of the match, and I just focus on the Rizzler.
I mean, I don't really have much depth to go into the actual. I just assume Big Boom AJ doesn't really lose, so I would assume we're sticking to the trend here of them winning. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Phil.
No. I don't really have much to add. I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure that QT and Big Boom are probably going to win here.
Yeah.
All right. Does this sound enticing to you guys?
All right,
the Riz Witch meal, straight from the mind of the. It's called the Riz Witch. Straight from the mind of the Rizzler, features a juicy 100% U.S. Angus beef patty, melted American and Swiss cheese, crispy cherrywood smoked bacon, sandwiched between two buttery toasted sourdough. Okay, so it's just sourdough bread.
Okay.
So it's basically a patty melt.
Okay.
Paired with golden fries and a thick and creamy shake of your choice. And each Riz meal comes with extra Riz, packs of extra Riz. So you would just, it's getting really weird in here. But
so there's a sauce. So he has a sauce.
He's got a sauce too.
Got his own sauce. All right.
This kid's making it.
Making money, man. Making money.
Two Sweet Kyle's in the house. What's good? Welcome, Scott.
How we doing?
Yeah, I don't know how these two became friends, and they keep getting spots though. So
there it is.
Hey, listen, QT's gonna find a way to get on the show.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Remember that was word at one point that he was going back and it was gonna be a backstage role. He's not gonna be on TV.
No. He's like, hey Tony, I'm backstage not a lot more now, but you seem to have a hole in your tailgate brawls. Would you mind?
Listen, man.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Why not, right?
Yeah. We had a match put together, a tag team match where it's going to be Hook and Eddie Kingston are going to be taking on the Workhorsemen, who I love. I love JD Drake. But this to me is another match. They're just trying to get Hook and Eddie out there to get a victory, I would assume. Phil, how are you vibing the Hook and Eddie Kingston pairing in general? And then do you assume that obviously this is a nice little easy victory for them as well?
Yeah, I think this is a way to get Eddie and Hook on the show, get them an easy win over the Workhorses. I assume that they're trying to push them forward as a tag team. I mean, I get the idea behind it. It benefits Hook in a way. You're getting Eddie some more reps, getting him more in the mix, because he did look rough in the match with Big Bill earlier this year. But I think since then he's got his legs under him. He's getting better and better the more we see him. So yeah, I get it, but it's standard pre-show match.
Plus having a little bit of Eddie's vibe and the way he operates rub off on Hook is probably not a bad thing. Like I know Hook's MO and his like sweet spot is being like that quiet, cool guy, but if you could start, cutting some promos and getting a little bit more, under his belt that way, who better to learn from than Eddie Kingston, man? So,
True. Yeah, the New York connection, some get, a few wheat Tims, some Averex jackets,
New York caps.
Yeah.
Get him I know JPJ would not be vibing if they came out in Yankees gear.
I mean, Eddie's worn plenty. Listen, I'm not one of those people that if I see someone wearing a Yankee hat, I'm like, but the logo's disgusting. But it is what it is,
You've never owned a Yankee hat ever?
No, I live in Boston. I can't. I live in Boston.
Yeah,
I'm one of those.
I mean, listen. At one point, Jay-Z made the Yankee hat cooler than anything in the world. And so, I owned one at one point just because of Jay, and I haven't.
Yeah,
I'm slowly building a fitted hat, like a hat collection, and I have like an addiction to lids clearance section. Like it's bad. I bought some stuff today, but every time Yankees gear comes up, and even if it's on a good deal, I look that face right there. You see that face right there? I think about it and I go, because I'm gonna want to wear it on a stream, and he is going to leave the stream. And the only reason I haven't pulled the trigger on any Yankees caps, because they are cool, they are classic, they are clean.
The classic
because of this guy. Yeah. Look at him. He's gonna get. He gets so mad at me, Phil. There would just be one beard that show. I'd just be
you come on
myself.
But you come on here in a Lakers hat occasionally, and I'm like,
but I don't think you hate the Lakers as much as you hate the Yankees. Like I just don't think that that's
true. Here's the thing.
He's in Boston.
If we have a hierarchy, like the Yankees overall sports are my least favorite team of all the sports. But the Lake, I'm a Boston fan. My number one arch nemesis is the Lakers. That's who they are, and it's the same thing. But
it's fair.
Yeah. Part of the reason I bought this hat is to troll because I don't like Lakers. So
there you go. There you go. I love it. I know we probably.
I just listened to the Bomani Jones podcast today where he was talking to the guy who wrote that LeBron James book, and it's like I could see. I got to read the whole thing, but just listening to him, I'm like, man, that LeBron James is kind of a diva, man.
Kind of.
I mean,
kind of. I'm being nice.
Is this new information?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, you've been for the last 22 years, so however long.
I'm not a LeBron hater, but some of the things that they said that they wrote about in that book, I went, that's really shitty stuff, LeBron.
I mean, listen, everybody got mad at Dan Gilbert. Now, given Dan Gilbert could have, disseminated the information better than he did.
Yeah.
But I always felt like Dan Gilbert had a point about him. I just don't think that people liked that it was him that was saying it. It was the messenger. And then the same thing. Pat Riley had things to say about him. I was like, okay, there's a growing pattern here. Mm-hmm. And
Pat Riley's well more respected than Dan Gilbert for sure.
I don't know. I just we keep seeing certain patterns. I'm not surprised by much of what we hear at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all which is kind of weird that it's all starting to kind of flood out now, especially because he hasn't played yet. I mean, he just started playing this week. And he, the sciatica thing, and it's like he's supposed to be at the tail end of his career. And now all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Fuck that guy!"
Yeah,
like more vocally than it. Like not just internet dudes that are like, "He's not as good as Jordan." I'm talking like reputable people are just like, "This dude's trash as a human being."
Yeah,
Jesus.
I think that he's starting to wear out his welcome with the Lakers. I think that we're heading towards the end of his time in LA. And I think there are a lot of things that contributed to that, but that is another story.
If he became a Chicago Bull, would you still support the Bulls, or would you move on? What about the Celtics? If LeBron suited up in a Celtics uniform, how would you guys feel?
I think it would be highly unnecessary for him to do so.
I don't see it ever happening. I don't see him ever coming here. Because he got all upset at Windhorst when Windhorst was like, the only reason he was a Nike guy is because of Jordan. There's no way he would come to the house that Jordan built and put on a Bulls jersey. You cannot come here and wear 23. That's sacrilege. You cannot do that.
Right.
That's
insane.
So I just don't see a world where he is ever a Chicago Bull. I think that door was open in 2011.
2010, 2011.
2010, 11. And that was it. When he didn't make the jump to come here then after decision, I didn't see it ever happen.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I know that he's probably done. I would imagine this is his last year as a Laker, and then he'll probably, because I know he'll want the farewell tour, but he's gonna want to go somewhere where he's not gonna go to like Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna want to go somewhere where it makes.
Go back to Cleveland.
I was gonna say, go back to Cleveland, have another year, maybe 2 in Cleveland, end it. Everyone, when you go to the arenas, will salute you on your farewell tour and give you a present. Because he'll want all that admiration, and
he said he didn't want any of that. He said he doesn't want a farewell tour.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah,
well,
right.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
But no, I don't see him ever coming here. And the talk wasn't him coming here recently. It was this Anthony Davis trade, and I was just like, nah, Davis. I remember everything you said.
Mm-hmm.
I remember all of, because I held a whole checklist of these things because I used to really like Davis. Still think he's a great player. But yeah, at one point he was out at that Packers game. I was like, oh, he's a Packers fan. Strike one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then he did that quote where they were like, hey, would you ever be interested in coming back and playing Chicago? I'd be more interested in playing in Milwaukee. I was like,
damn.
Okay, strike two.
Yeah.
Then there was that quote where he, if you guys remember, used to wear the number 23. Apparently, there's the rumor that he wore 23 because of LeBron, not because of Michael Jordan. And I was like, oh, no, dude, we're out of it. Enough. Enough.
Oh, man.
Stay over there. Stay in Dallas, dog.
It's gonna be real awkward when the Chicago Bulls, who started a hot fire like 6-1, are like, we need a big man to put us over the edge here for our 42-40 season. Let's go get Davis.
We don't need a big man. Listen, we got Vucci, man.
Oh, I know.
Big Vooch, 2 game winners in a row. We're good.
Yeah. Anthony, you keep that Brown down. I do think it's really funny that Nico Harrison got fired, and all of a sudden they're like, the Mavs are interested in trading for Luka Doncic. Yeah, who isn't? They want to redo it. Not going to happen, guys. You guys are idiots.
That guy,
it's so funny. Like, they're like, Dirk's gonna save us. They need to blow that shit up anyway.
Brutal. Yeah. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown got benched the other night. So
Jaylen, and the fun stat. I don't know if you know this, Phil. Jaylen Brown has stained more players' uniforms than the Celtics have wins.
Bro,
it's probably true.
Probably true. What a wild year for Jaylen Brown so far. All of this stuff with his hair.
Yeah.
He's still dropping 30 though.
He's been all right. He's been pretty good.
What a crazy year. I expect no less. Tatum is talking about trying to come back early. Please don't, Tatum. Yeah. Don't risk the rest of your career. It's not worth it. This team is not winning a championship this year. It's just not worth it. Don't do it.
No.
Yeah, him and Tyrese is saying the same thing in Indiana. And I'm like, dude, just go, because you guys just tank it out. You guys are awful. Get your draft picks.
They're like what?
They're like 2 and 10 or
2 and 13 or something.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
That.
This is not worth it, bro.
Just get any assets you can, retool for next year. Especially in Achilles, you don't want to mess with that because you never come back from that the same.
No. But yeah, so that's the thing. But Tatum's releasing like workouts of him already dunking and already doing stuff. I'm like, hey man, cool, like that's great
mentality,
but
bro.
Like, no, dude, we're gonna be like below or right around 500 in April. Like, just it's fine.
It's not worth it.
It's fine. Get a decent. I mean, I don't want them to lose. I'm never one to root for tanking, but like, I'm just like, have a year, rebuild, build that next core around the Jays, figure it out, and go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, that's just.
I don't want to dance on Boston fans' graves.
You can. It's okay.
Because listen, I know how this feels as a Bears fan. I feel like every week I have to listen to people get ready to laugh at us until we win a game at the very last second, and it's very annoying. So I get it. What a colossal collapse last year.
It's terrible.
Just a staggering collapse in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Even before the Tatum injury, like I just couldn't figure out what was happening. I'm like, this New York team is not that good. New York was good enough to make it to the conference finals, but
the Celtics forgot that you can shoot basketballs inside that arch.
Yeah.
And there was that one game, because I know this very well as Houston. We used to live and die by the 3 with James Harden. and we had that infamous game where we went 1 for like 28 and lost to the Warriors. They just were like, we're not going to penetrate at all. We're just going to shoot. And they just had a really bad couple of nights.
For me, but it was all of last year too. Like, we lost probably a half a dozen to 8 or 9 games where we had 20-point leads because we would go so cold hitting shots and we would not adjust the game plan whatsoever. And it was just, and they would question Missoula about it after the games, and he would be like, just the way we play. Just the way we play. And
Missoula.
It's like, all right. And now you don't have Jason Tatum. And now, a lot of people, even the year that they won the championship, disrespected Tatum. And now you're kind of seeing how the team is without him. The guy is clearly a top 5 to 7, like he's a top 5 guy in the league. It's very clear that if he was playing right now, we would have like 3 losses or some shit. And it would be, I don't know. But yeah, we're finding out a lot about Missoula. I don't think he's that great of a coach. I don't dislike him personally. I actually think his smugness is kind of funny to me, but like we're seeing the coaching. You can't win basketball games like that.
But if that guy coached the Knicks, you'd be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah. If you got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson back there, you can win basketball games like that because you have 2 of the 10 best shooters of all time. We don't have that. So you got to adapt, dude. And it's just, it was.
I mean, listen, Missoula was gifted a good situation.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Ime Udoka fiasco. Yeah. And, he managed to win with that. Great. But I never thought he was this great coach either. I will say, to your point, Tatum is very needed on this team. Mm-hmm. But I think last year was the last year where I was just like, I can't with you anymore. Last year was the year I was like, this is going to be his MVP year. He's going to come out of that championship with something to prove. People were like all over him because he didn't win finals MVP. He was a contributing factor in that championship, but he wasn't the guy. And I was like, the winning championship, now that monkey's off his back, he's going to finally elevate into the guy. It didn't happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's fair. It's fair. I just think because of the team, I'm interested to see when he comes back next year what the team looks like. Because yes, he was clearly the number 1 guy, but he did a lot of facilitate. Like he did a lot. Like he would run the offense, and he would still have games where he'd put up 35, 40 routinely. And it was like, okay, cool. That's what he does. But there were a lot of games where he was like, all right, I'm going to be a facilitator, and Jalen's going to get 30 tonight, and Porzingis is going to get 25, and he would do that type of thing where he'd get a triple double with, 19 points, 11 boards, and 10 assists, and I think that affected the stats and the view a little bit. But then in the playoffs, he just played like shit. The whole team did. It was brutal.
Very, very
embarrassing. You can't,
He gets very, very passive, and I just don't get it, man. For his talent level, he just...
And his size, too. He's a big guy.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me the most about him is sometimes if you're one of those guys, there has to be a switch where you put your foot on people's throats, and he has yet to do that. And I don't know if he has that type of killer mentality in him.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't think
now I would agree with Phil. I don't think he does. I think he's just a really, really good,
it's a sweetheart,
excellent, all around great basketball player, but he doesn't have that killer instinct when you need it. So Jaylen Brown is the one that has the killer instinct. He just doesn't have the talent level of Tatum. He's very good, but he has that mentality, but Tatum doesn't, even though Tatum's the guy we need to have that mentality, if that makes sense. But either way.
Yeah, what an interesting guy Jaylen Brown is, man.
Yeah, he is.
What an interesting guy. That post earlier this year, or like right after they won the championship, and that guy was talking about how he's not really that good at chess.
Yeah,
what a hilarious rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah. Jaylen, look, he's like a lot of I
relatable, right? The people are like, yeah, me too, man. I'm not good at chess either.
He's
like
a very odd guy. He stands for a lot of great stuff. He does a lot of great work in the Boston community and things like that. But he's an oddball sometimes. He'll say stuff and you're like, okay, cool. And I don't know what's going on with the hair, bro. Just shave him. He's a good-looking guy. He'd look fine with
I'm not mistaken too. I think on a live stream he asked LeBron how Turkey was.
Yeah.
He's trying to go get that turkey hairline.
Hey, man, listen. Also, the controversy around him last year, it's all right. People owe him an apology as well because he was right about Bronny. It's okay. He was right.
Yep.
You know, and it wasn't like he went out there and said this purposely. It's not like he had a whole press conference like this guy's not it. You guys were ear hustling on a private conversation. He said in privacy, and he was right. Yeah. It's all right. We're all saying it behind closed doors. It's
of course. Yeah.
And people are starting to say it, out in the open.
That's fine.
Bronny's going to be gone too.
I mean, if LeBron leaves, I mean, what are you going to keep him around for?
That'd be fun if he's like, son, you got to stay. Enjoy.
You got the keys to the kingdom now. You got the juice now.
Yeah. 100%.
Take him to the promised land, Bronny. You got this.
All right.
I'm going to go home. So don't tell your mother.
Yeah. All right.
Then poor Bryce James can't get off the bench in Arizona. They're talking about redshirting his ass. Anyway.
Yeah. Is he even to the level where people think he would even make the like?
The problem is he committed to Arizona where they have 5-star dudes up and down the team.
Great.
He can't get in a game. So who knows if he's any good? So they're sitting there going like, do we throw him in as a freshman in like garbage time and burn it? Because in college basketball, there is no 4 games like in football where you can play 4 games and still redshirt. You play a single minute in college basketball, that's eligibility burned. So they're like, do we waste his year? Do we redshirt him? What do we do with him? So it's kind of interesting over there in Arizona.
All right. Well,
seem like good kids, man. Like,
nothing
against them personally, but listen, man, you gotta be really good, man. You gotta be really good to be a pro ball player, man.
Yeah. It's a very elite club.
Yep. All right.
Something about wrestling.
Yeah. We'll get it. Listen.
It just tells you how interested we are in this tailgate.
Yeah, I know.
But for those that have not watched a Phil Lindsey episode of Between Two Beards, it steers into basketball quite often. So
we talk a little bit.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, we don't got to be sorry. It's our fucking show. What the hell are you sorry?
Because I love our fans. If they're not vibing today, sorry, you're not vibing today. Sorry you don't want to hear about SGA's free throw rate. I'm sorry.
Listen. I danced around it as well. I got very excited to start the year. I was like, hey, wait a minute, 6-1.
Yeah,
looking pretty good. Young Bulls looked very good. Giddy got crossed over in that game, and Shoot hurt his ankle. That guy Shoot broke his ankle, crossed him up, and was out a few games. And then everything turned to mush again. I was like, oh no. But that just shows you how important Giddy is to us. Boy,
he's a good player.
We took a lot of jokes off of that Caruso trade, and at the time I was like, guys, I think this is a good trade. You just gotta be patient.
Full squads, man. That's. Yeah,
but they look good. I am concerned that they get up to these big leads in every game, and then it ends up being a close game, which the Bears also keep doing this year, and it's a thing. I don't know, man. I can't get too excited about this team, but they've at least been fun to watch this year.
Got to keep the viewers. Got to keep the viewership up. Nobody wants to watch 40-point blowouts. They got to.
Yeah.
Listen,
they're just worried about the ratings.
And the Bears, they got the horseshoe. They got the horseshoe up their butts. I mean, here's the thing. I think I've been saying I think Ben Johnson is as real as it gets. Like I think that guy
I agree.
As real as it gets. I think it took a few weeks, maybe a month or so, but I think Caleb has actually looked like he's gotten progressively better this last 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I like where you guys are at. I think Odunze is a fucking monster. I like where you guys are at there, Chicago. Like I'm obviously the way you guys are winning games is like, holy shit, they're pulling all this out, left and right. But like, I think you guys record wise are kind of where I thought you would be.
Could easily be 8-2 right now, which is insane to me. But I agree. I think Ben Johnson has changed the culture here.
Yeah,
a lot.
100%.
A lot of close games they would not win without Ben Johnson.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we do have the CMLL Trios Championships on the line on this tailgate before we get to the main card. We got Mystico, Mascara Dorada, and Neon El Sky team taking on the Callis family, which will be Konosuke Takeshita, Hechicero and
What
Kazuchika
did you say?
Okada.
Did you say Takeshita?
Takeshita.
Okada was so pissed last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was,
I felt pretty good about this because for a few weeks I have been saying, yeah, I think that we're getting Okada Takeshita by the end of this year. I wasn't sure if it was going to be at this show at World's End. Selfishly, I really wanted it to happen at World's End in the city of Chicago.
of course.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit concerned going into the build to this show. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna make it to December. Feeling pretty good about that now, though.
Yeah, I have a question though. Do you think because Takeshita is the IWGP champion, Okada was just announced that he's going to be Tanahashi's last match? Do you think there's a chance that so we get this in AEW, but then it also makes its way over to like a marquee matchup in New Japan, maybe for the title too? If like they stretch out the feud like longer as it goes.
I think there's a very good chance that Okada, when we do get the match, is going to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, because I think from his point of view, going into the Dome as champion for his final match with Tanahashi makes all the sense in the world. And I think that there's bragging rights around doing that. People are already saying that they want Tanahashi Okada to be the main event of Wrestle Kingdom next year. And you got to assume with the influx of tickets that were sold once Okada was added to this card, it makes a lot of sense for them to main event. It's also Tanahashi's final match. That was already the big selling point for the show anyway. And the idea of adding the title to that adds even more. So I think if you are going to do that match before Wrestle Kingdom, it's probably going to be for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. I was thinking it should be. That would make all the sense in the world with Okada and his history and just all that stuff, right, Pluggo?
Yeah, I think that's what we all want to see. I mean, they've been teasing it. They've been doing really good of like having to mix it up, put them in these spots where they have to coexist. Don Callis is really trying to make them work together. And Okada is increasingly getting more and more frustrated to the point where I'm kind of like, after last night, I'm kind of leading like maybe, no, I know Takeshi's going to be the babyface, but I'm kind of leading Okada just being like done with Don Callis. Like, why do you keep doing this to me, man? But maybe I'm way off the scent here.
Yeah, he's getting more and more shady. He's getting more and more openly shady towards Takeshita. But yeah, it's only a matter of time before we're leading towards Takeshita versus the Don Callis family and their 12,000 wrestlers that they have.
Yeah.
Don said it last night too. He even said it to the Bucks. He was like, "There's a bunch of us, man. You're not safe here by yourself in AEW. We've got people everywhere." And it's like, yeah, you sure do, man.
They really do.
Yeah.
So do we think that the Sky team retains here? We think Okada and Takeshita have their blow up, or do we think the Callis family are leaving with the trios titles?
I think that the Sky team is going to retain.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the full-on blow-up, but I think there's going to be a miscommunication or something that causes them to lose. Because I can't see them doing the turn or anything on the pre-show. If you're going to do that, you should do it on Dynamite or something that's guaranteed that most of your fan base is going to be watching.
That's fair.
Would Okada walk out on this match maybe too, make it a 3-on-2? So he just goes, "I'm kind of just done with it," and walks out.
Yeah.
Is that considered more of a full-blown turn? I think that would be something you'd also want to do on the main show. But I could see that them going that direction somehow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's a match. It'll be a good match. But
Oh yeah. Of course.
It'll be a fun match, and we'll get more seeds planted for this big turn.
Yeah, for sure. And then, the first of two matches where Tony Khan is just giving away a lot of money. We have a fatal four-way tag team match. We have the not reforming Acclaimed Max Caster and Anthony Bowens teaming up against the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson. Big
Bang Bang Gang Financial, baby.
And the Outrunners. And the winners will get $200,000. Obviously, they've been doing this, Bowens, Caster stuff, kind of getting them back on screen together and stuff like that. Does that mean they're going to – do we think this is just a one-time thing, or are they going to win this match and continue going this route? I mean, obviously, I'm not even going to say they really tried the Bowens singles push, but, he probably deserved a little bit more of attention on that push, I would say. But it seems to me that they might just be going back in the direction of getting the Acclaim back together through this at some point. Is that where you think it's going, Phil? Like, do you think they win this match and get the money or whatnot?
I think that the Gun Club is going to win.
Mm.
I think that the Bang Bang Gang here is going to win. I really don't have much interest in the Acclaim getting back together, especially now that we're this close to the Continental Classic. Get Bowens in the Continental Classic. I really think the biggest misstep that they had with his singles run and having him go off on his own as a babyface is you need to showcase what he does better than Max Caster. You're not going to out-character Max Caster. You're not going to have him go out there and out-cut promos to Max Caster because that's what he does better than Bowens. But Bowens is the better wrestler of the two. You've got to get him on TV and really showcase what he does well. And I don't think that they've done that. So I think the move should be to put Bowens in this tournament and show like we've got something in this guy as a wrestler.
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah. Up until last night, I actually was leaning the Acclaimed winning because they are very adamant that they don't want to be together. But every interview they do, I blanket on her name. The interviewer's like, "You guys are the higher draw together. You guys are, when you're together, it's the most successful you've been." Blah blah blah. They kept leaning into that, so it's kind of like they're just going to win it. But like, I think Juice and Austin Gunn kind of sold me a ticket last night on. I think them winning it would really help them and upstart them a little bit and get them that ball rolling. Until if Jay White's coming back, I don't know, but that would be a fun one. Is this $200,000 real? Are they? Is this just gimmick? He throws that. He's been when he started Tony Khan started these $100,000 matches. I'm like, okay, once in a
money
while.
Match.
These money matches is he actually throwing them $200K for real?
I would doubt it. I mean, there's a lot of these nowadays. I feel like there's a lot of them
because he's throwing up,
and he's giving away $1 million in a minute that we're gonna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, this card alone, he's giving at least $1 million, 1.2. That's what he's giving away.
Yeah.
There was that report from the last big money match on a pay-per-view, and Jack Perry was throwing some money in the crowd, and apparently security immediately confiscated that money because it was not real.
There we go. They're like, nope, we gotta get it.
It's just funny money. It's that prop money that you see. Like it just says this is for. Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
Which I don't know if that's true or not. That was reported by the Observer. I think that was not real money, but.
That's funny though.
It's wrestling, guys.
If you could just see security just running all throughout the arena, like get all the money before people pick it up and they think it's. That's funny. That's good stuff. So that is the full tailgate, 4 matches in total, and then we'll kind of shift to the main card. We might as well start. There is going to be a Casino Gauntlet match to determine for the inaugural national championship because, yes, that's what AEW needed, another singles title for the men when you just unified 2 of them like less than a year ago. Okay, whatever. Right now, we only know 5 of the participants. We know Bobby Lashley. We know he'll be entering number 1 because he defeated Ricochet last night. And we know that Shelton Benjamin will be number 2 because he defeated Speedball Mike Bailey last night, which I find very intriguing. Yeah, I feel very intrigued that I feel like that's very interesting that those 2 guys are starting. Yep. And then we also know that obviously Ricochet, Speedball, and Kevin Knight are in the match. Obviously, there should be others that we don't know, maybe a surprise here or there. I know these are kind of hard to predict. But yeah, I would love to see Shelton Benjamin win it. But obviously, without knowing everybody, I think this will be fun. The Casino Gauntlets seem to be a really good match that they always put together that are entertaining and good with the surprises and the gimmick and just the way it goes. But Bobby Lashley and Shelton 1 and 2, Phil. That's cool. I didn't think they would obviously go that route, but that's cool to me. Like, what are they going to do something funky, or are they just going to shake hands and go, all right, 1-on-1, let's go, and just have a barn burner for the first however long? Like, I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah, I think that's a cool wrinkle to add to this. I think it also takes away the intrigue of having two Hurt Syndicate guys in there going against the rest of the field, you're immediately going to eliminate one of them. I have to assume it's probably going to be Shelton. I would assume Bobby Lashley is going to advance. But I really like the idea of the both of them being in the gauntlet. I think they're both great options to win this belt. I want Ricochet to win, and Ricochet is actually my prediction to win. I think that he would benefit the most from having a singles title at the moment. I think he's overdue a big championship win with just how great he has been this year as a character. I think that he's done a great job of adapting to AEW. I know at one point earlier this year, people weren't quite feeling the matches because it was him still getting, adjusted to this style of wrestling regularly. But he's been phenomenal this year. I think you've got to put some gold on him.
I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, and I made this point like last night, and I think part of what's made Ricochet even better is having the Gates of Agony behind him, right? Because now he's even more out of pocket with what he's saying because he knows I got these two guys have my back. There, you know what I'm saying? It's not just little old Ricochet anymore. Do I think I always live for the figure poke of doom anytime there's an opportunity for that? It's not. It's below the Hurt Syndicate for sure. It's not something that they would do because it's not a cool thing to do. But strategically, it's the right move to do to bring gold into the syndicate. So why wouldn't you just end it right there and figure it out? But they won't. So yeah, I like Ricochet. I think I'm intrigued on where Speedball and Kevin Knight end up in this thing too, where they're going to end up in this match because I was hoping it would be a little bit. I thought maybe Speedball might pick off one of the Hurt Syndicate guys, and that kind of keeps that going, but he didn't. So. Yeah, Ricochet is a great pick. That is because the way he got ragdolled yesterday by Bobby Lashley. Now I know he got jumped before the match, but it would be one of those oh gotcha.
And the
Philadelphia Eagles fan. Ricochet.
Yeah, and the heat that he gets anyway, if he's the national champion, that's just more that he can just egg on the crowd, and the crowd will just it just feeds into everything that he's been killing it with in the character.
I win championships just like my Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, he can just do it however he wants,
Yeah. And this is the time to do it. I think the character's really been great this year. By far the best he's been as a promo on mainstream television. I think you gotta reward this guy with a title win, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Who would have thought just letting him be kind of arrogant and cocky would just click with him? I know, when he was in the other company in WWE, it was all I can do anything. I'm in, because they were really pulling. It was corny. And now he's superhero. And now they're just go out there and goof, man, and have fun, and it works for him. So more power to him.
I think the thing that really worked here is that WWE, in some ways, rightfully tried to put over how cool this guy is. Look how cool he looks. Look how cool all of these moves is he can do. But the best thing AEW has done is leaned into how cringy and nerdy that this guy is.
Yeah,
it has worked really, really well for him.
Yes, it has. It has. Yeah, no, he's been excellent. He's been a standout performer for them for, like you said, this whole year. He's been tremendous. All right, we have a singles match, one of the few. It is Darby Allin taking on Pac. I thought the vignette promo that Pac did last night was awesome. I don't know how he's not doing that more often, if that's what he can give you. That was unreal, I thought. Easily the best talking thing I think he's maybe ever done in AEW. I thought it was incredible. But if I'm being honest, this match is going to be fun. This match is going to be a bunch of fun. However, I don't know why this match. Okay, Darby Allin, since he's been back, has been trying to kill the Death Riders. Right, the boss of the Death Riders is Moxley. Darby Allin has beaten Moxley. He's already beaten the head guy. So why is he fighting the low? Not that pocket talent. Why, you know what I'm talking about? Why is he fighting the henchman after he defeated the final boss? But that part, I don't know.
Because I feel like we're definitely leading towards a big mutiny in the Death Riders.
Yeah,
Mox is getting booted out of this group. It's only a matter of time, and really the story out of Blood and Guts, and some of the story even going into the I Quit match, is that he didn't really beat Darby on his own ever. Like, he had help every time, and even Pac's big return. That's how he won the coffin match. Is him helping him win. So I feel like this is the loose end. Him setting him on fire, which was absolutely nuts. So he's still got an axe to grind with Pac and all of this, because that's how Pac returned to the company. So I understand.
He's not a guy on fire. He's not a guy on fire. Like, that's short hair Pac, man, and that promo is just unhinged and that's scary. And and I think it's also part of like you said, Phil, the mutiny's coming. The Mox is out of this group. It's just a matter of time. It's also Claudio, Pac, Garcia, and Yuta's way of being like, we didn't tap. We're not the losers of this group. Look, and if they decide to pull the trigger and have Pac beat Darby Allin, Pac can go, I took care of him, and it didn't take a blood and guts match. It didn't take gimmicks, because he said straight up competition. And then you go to John Moxley and you go, and you're tapping out to this guy. And I don't want to say easy work, because I think they wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go that far. But, he gets a win. Oh, yeah. Like, it would tell a really good story to have Pac be the guy that wins this match.
And I think that's kind of the way they should go about it. I think Pac should win. And then we'll talk about the other match, but I don't think Moxley will win his match on this card. I don't. And then that kind of leads to... And then Pac maybe, I don't know if they do the new leader route, but then, like you said, Pac can kind of be like, well, I took care, like you said, I took care of the guy that you couldn't beat without us. I took care of him by myself, and then that kind of leads to all that. But I think Pac is going to win this match, Phil.
I think he's going to win as well. And he's got all the right in the world to have this chip on his shoulder. Like, wait a minute, this is who we're worried about? We're worried about Darby Allin? Like, I came into this company as a guy that was in conversation to be world champion. In the first year, I beat Kenny Omega. We're worried about Darby Allin? Get this guy out of here.
You're tapping out to this guy? What the hell?
Yeah. And
this dude used to live in his car and climb Mount Everest. You're losing to this guy?
And of course, that's not me saying that as a fan. I think Darby is fantastic. But from Pac's point of view, he's at home watching how all this is going before he comes back. Like, wait a minute. Darby Allin? This is it? This is what we're worried about? Charlie M? Like, get this guy out of
here. Are you in agreement, Pluggo? Do you think they are? Yeah, you think?
I think Pac would make the most. I think Pac would make the most sense, and Darby is one of those guys that he's bulletproof. If they figure out a good way to lose it, and even if it is and they can even play up, the blood and gut, like the dude set him on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could play up the injury part of it and all that and be like, he's clearly not 100%. They could do it. And then it would also remind us that Pac is that killer that Phil just said. He is a guy that beat Kenny Omega. He is a guy that they put a lot of stock in early, but injuries derailed it. So I think it would be the right move. But you also have to factor in the fact that Darby doesn't lose a lot. But I think it would be Pac. It would make most sense for the story.
Yeah, I think Pac beating him on his own is going to add to the story. I mean, that was part of the story coming out of Blood and Guts as well. Marina is being dragged through glass and in a submission with the bat covered in barbed wire, and she didn't tap out. And Mox, as soon as he locked that submission on, he's tapping out. And I think you're going to see more and more one by one. All of these other guys are winning without him, and it's like, well, wait a minute, why do we need you?
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you for your services. Now get the fuck out of here.
Well, speaking of one John Moxley, he is in a no-holds-barred match, one-on-one. It is him and Kyle O'Reilly. I have loved what they are doing with Kyle O'Reilly here these last few weeks. I think giving him this renewed singles push and putting him with Moxley, and he was incredible in that Blood and Guts match last week, Kyle O'Reilly. And the I Quit match, just everything they're doing, I'm enjoying, and I'm expecting Kyle O'Reilly to beat John Moxley again in this. Obviously, this is going to be chaotic and violent, and it's a Moxley match, and Kyle's going to ball out. We know that. I think Kyle's going to win. Pluggo, you gave me a face. So do you don't? You think they go to Moxley here? Maybe.
I always give that face when somebody says, because they don't let John Moxley doesn't lose.
He's been losing.
He's been losing, but I think it's. I don't know. I have this like, are they gonna do it with Kyle? What do they do with Kyle after he beats Moxley?
Oh
yeah.
That's my only thing. Like, what do we do? Because it is awesome. That was awesome on Wednesday. That was cool. But John Moxley is still John Moxley. Do you want to keep having him lose for the sake of having him lose, just to tell? I don't know. I'm just it's weird. This is one where, like, if we put confidence points on it, I'm not super confident. I would love to see Kyle O'Reilly win, but I just don't really bet against Mox that often. In a one-on-one situation, no holds barred. That's kind of his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Right.
You
could convince me either way.
I think Mox is winning, guys. And
okay.
The big reason I think Mox is winning is once it was made a no holds barred match, I was like, oh, he's winning with help. I think that's part of the story here. I think Pac is going to win on his own, and I think again the Death Riders are going to have to come in to save Mox, and that's going to be part of this mutiny story of you can't beat this guy without us, and that's been shown at this point. I really wish that Kyle was in the gauntlet instead, because I think putting him in the conversation for the national championship makes a lot more sense coming out of where he was at in Blood and Guts.
Okay,
but I don't think he's going to win here. I think he's going to lose with help from the Death Riders.
Yeah,
John Moxley is the LeBron James of wrestlers. He needs an all-star team around him to get wins.
Well, and we think the same, Phil. Like, I do think the mutiny is coming, and I think eventually Moxley will be a babyface again, kind of through that down the line. My mindset was when I pick O'Reilly is that Moxley's just going to lose again, and the Death Riders will create doubt that way. But yours does make sense with Pac getting it done on his own, and then them bailing him out and being like, see, we got to bail you out again, as opposed to Pac winning and him losing. So I think we have the same end goal. We're just kind of taking different routes, if that makes sense. But
so I'm just gonna let you guys fight that out. I'm not gonna break the tie.
I'm good.
I'm not gonna break the. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. I think Mox is going to get bailed out again.
Yeah.
I think when he does take this back-breaking loss, that's probably going to be the last straw. I think it makes more sense for that to happen at World's End than it does for it to happen here.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. World's End does seem like a more, all right. We then have a match that was made last night. We are through to the second round, the semifinals of the women's tag team tournament. And we found out last night that the final four teams are going to have a four-way tag team match, and the winning team will get to choose the stipulation for their semifinal match in the inaugural Women's World Championship tournament. I just need to say before we dive into this that I'm glad all 8 of these women are on this card. I'm glad this is the second women's match on this card. Why can't we just have the semifinals matches on this card instead? I just feel like this is just...
And why does only one team get a stipulation match? What about the other side?
I just feel like if we were going to do something to get these 8 women on the card, you can do an 8-woman tag with the 2 babyface teams on one end and 2... I just feel like this is very convoluted with the rule and stuff like that. I know some people complain about the length of AEW pay-per-views. I am not one of those people. I would have preferred if they just had the 2 semifinal matches on this show, as opposed to this, even though it will be fun.
I wonder how much Penelope getting injured changed a lot of the plan for this tournament, because initially my pick to win was Megan and Penelope Ford.
Yep.
And I think Penelope getting injured changed the storyline a lot for this tournament. Now it seems like it's pivoted to Tony's quest for revenge after Blood and Guts. And so, nobody should be shocked that Tony and Mina won last night and advanced to the next round. But all of the story is built around them getting their match against Megan and Marina, and then eventually moving on and getting their match against the Sisters of Sin. I don't know how I feel about that because I do think it makes sense to do a storyline here with Tony. You've got a golden goose in Tony. Everything this woman touches is gold. When they came out and did that entrance last night, I was like,
tremendous.
I don't care what she does at this point. It hits. One of the best talkers in wrestling right now, not just in the company, one of the best talkers in wrestling. That promo she cut on Saturday where she like stops mid-interview and takes the mic and starts talking. Incredible. Everything about her, just her presentation, the way she talks, the way she moves, the way she wrestles. She's got it. And I would have preferred if they put the tag titles on somebody else, but it's hard to argue with how good this woman is right now.
Yeah.
And at least if you put the tag titles on her and Mina, or at least put them in the finals, you're going to guarantee that there's more interest in it. There's more interest in putting the titles on TV if they win.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I agree, just everything about like the storyline here and turning this into like a, four corners match. It is very convoluted. I don't know. I don't even know how to predict this because I want to say I believe that Tony and Mina are going to win and they're going to call their shot in terms of the match moving forward. But it kind of makes more sense for one of the heel teams to win.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And create more adversity for Tony and Mina moving forward.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you, if you're the Sisters of Sin and you win this match, why wouldn't you just say Tekla's in it, Triangle of Madness 3-on-2? That's the stipulation that we want to pick. Or again, why would you want to win this match? Because then you have that, like, oh, we have now a stipulation where, of course, you're going to do something crazy. Why I could just win a straight up wrestling match. It just was weird where it's like, yeah, like you said, split it up, do the semifinals here, and then maybe do the finals on a big Dynamite, or you wait till World's End, I think is the move. But yeah, I was just really confused by it, but I think it's going to be a fine match. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We didn't mention how good Willow and Harley have been together. They've really come on. The Babes of Wrath thing, I'm pulling for them, but I think, like you said, the Penelope Ford injury derailed it. I think you go with Mina and Tony to win it now. All I'm going to say is if Penelope Ford doesn't show up at Full Gear, in Full Gear, like she has been, I'm going to be very disappointed with her arm. She's always ready. She's always ready, Penelope Ford, man.
My guess, just off of the assumption that I think Willow and Harley are going to lose their semifinals matches, I think Sisters of Sin are going to win. I think they're going to use the stipulation to get the advantage over Willow and Harley and move on. Because while I think Willow is overdue some kind of big win, they're clearly holding off to get to this reunion with her and Statlander. I don't think she wins the tag titles without Statlander.
Okay, fair. I don't hate that.
That was one of the tag teams when they were starting to to put the tag division together before the belts were announced. I was like, you can always run back Statlander and Willow, and then Statlander obviously won the world championship, and I was like, oh, so we're gonna wait on that.
I do agree with you, Pluggo. I do think that Willow and Harley have turned into quite a good pairing, and I think the crowd genuinely. I mean, they always enjoy. Willow to me is the best babyface in the whole, like, honestly, like white meat babyface, if you want to use that term. Willow is the best, like, pure babyface in the whole company, and she is overdue that moment. I would love if they shocked everybody and ended up winning the whole thing, but I do agree. I think we are setting up for probably a Sisters of Sin and Tony and Mina final. I wouldn't mind Sisters of Sin winning the whole thing because I would love somewhat of a more established team to be the first champions. I think that would be nice, but I do agree with you, Phil. I think the heels, it makes sense for a heel team to win this. I just have the other heel team. To me, of all the Death Rider stuff, I think Marina Shafir has gained the most out of any single person in that group. I think the focus they have given her, she has become a legitimate force. I think she's on the short list of Statlander challengers for the title as we kind of move forward here too. Like maybe even like next or shortly after this tournament is done. I really love how they've made Shafir just be an absolute monster. The way that she was kind of telling all of them what to do at the end of that blood and guts match and like orchestrating that whole finish to, do what they did. And even in the tournament last night in that win, just the face she had when she puts in the submission to put them, it's just everything they're doing with Marina has been really, really excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were not happy that Ty J lost. But I think it did what it was supposed to do for Ty J. And more importantly, to your point, I think it did what it was supposed to do for Marina. Because that visual of her tapping out Anna Jay, and she's like kissing her on her forehead, like, night, get up out of here. See you later.
Yeah, unbelievable. She's really...
The face she makes of like, you're not dead because I could kill you right now, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, like just tremendous stuff.
They did a great job. They slow played Marina Shafir. She got thrown into this thing with the injury, but it was almost like a blessing in disguise because she reached that point where we needed to see more from Marina anyway. Because you're like, why doesn't she do more? Why isn't she getting in the mix? Because if they would have did it too early and she had to take some early losses, you'd be like, well, why is she the muscle of the Death Riders? And now you're like, I can see why she's the muscle of the Death Riders. Oh my God, give me more. I think they played it perfect with her.
Yeah, I don't know if this was intentional, but I think the great thing about the Death Riders initially, and it's become more in focus since Mox lost the title, is that their initial mission statement was like, hey, you guys have gotten complacent. Like, this is what you want this company to be. We're trying to force everybody to step up their game. And so I think a lot of people coming into this tournament were like, oh, well, Ty J's going to just advance because they're a day one team. They're the most established tag team in this company for the women. It makes more sense for them to move forward than a makeshift tag team. But Marina is kind of like, oh, well, that's what you want. You want them to just coast forward off of them going against a lesser division when the competition is not where it is. No. You got to get better to get in league with me.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I have them winning. I was with you, Phil. I did pick Megan and Penelope to win the whole thing. That was my early pick of this tournament. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know what they're. I don't think Megan and Marina are gonna do the same just because of how everything happened. But I'd like to see again. I have a vision in my brain of Willow and Harley being the underdog baby faces against the monster Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir team, and somehow pulling it out and winning the titles. And I feel like the crowd, if it is at World's End, the crowd in Chicago would be rabid for Willow and Harley to win that match. And if they did, that would be like such a moment of them winning those tag titles, deserving for both actually, because Willow is long overdue and Harley has turned in herself into a great performer, like a very fun, entertaining, decent to good, to pretty good wrestler. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to go the exact opposite way that we're talking about, but I would love if it went that way.
I agree. And the big pitch I had for Penelope and Megan winning was that, Penelope has been with this company since day one. I think people forget she had one of the standout moments from All In when she did that springboard cutter, and she's been incredibly consistent for this company as a wrestler. I think she's underrated, and you don't really have her in a position to win a singles title. I think this was the best way to put some gold on her and really reward the time she's been with this company for 6 years. But now that Penelope's out, I think that changed a lot. And I've been thinking it multiple times when Megan is in there. She just has this presence, man. She just feels like different than everybody else in there. And when she walked into that Blood and Guts match and she was dominating, I was like, you got to pull the trigger on her as a singles wrestler pretty soon, man. Like, you can't keep holding this off. I mean, she's like going to Japan and wrestling this crazy schedule right now. Like, she's working at like the highest level I've ever seen her at. She's currently my pitch to get this shock win over Mercedes and win a TBS title. I think you got to do something bold.
I think
put the belt on her, bro.
We advocated, or I definitely remember me advocating hard for her to beat Toni Storm.
Yeah, I thought,
because I was like, you have this. She's different than everybody. She wrestles different. She is that force. She is that presence. It doesn't happen often, and you don't want to get too cute with it where we lose interest. And to Megan Bayne's credit, I haven't lost it. Every time I see her on TV, it's one of those I have to stop and be like, what is she going to do to this division? So I think you're right. I think that would be get through this tag tournament. If she comes up short in the tag tournament, she'd be a perfect person to take it off Mercedes, one of the 15 belts that she's got.
And Mercedes has avoided her. I mean, she has very purposely avoided Megan.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was a little bit of foreshadowing that Megan used the TBS title to whip Mina out and win that match. Yep. I would put the belt on her. If you're not going to put the world title on Megan, I think the TBS title was the way to go, especially with what that belt represented before Mercedes won it. And like, she fits in that vein with like Jade and Kris Statlander perfectly. Like,
yep.
Plus, it works twofold because I think we can't keep. I mean, I know Mercedes is getting title shots, and we're going to talk about her title shot here at Full Gear. But we can't. We got to get her into that world title picture more consistently as well, right? So it'd be a perfect transition for both of them. Like, hey, close this chapter for Mercedes. She moves on. Megan Bayne holds it down for a little while, continues to dominate. Rebuild that division. So I think that'd be a smart move.
100%. All right, we have a no disqualification match for the AEW TNT Championship. If Mark Briscoe loses, he will be forced to join the Don Callis family. It is Mark Briscoe once again challenging Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. This has been a long feud between these two gentlemen. I think it's been a good feud. I thought it was going to be over by now, but it's not. To me, Mark Briscoe has been a little overdue for a signature, win or a mid-tier title win or something like that in AEW. However, I think it's kind of a little too soon for Fletcher to lose the TNT title, in my opinion. But again, no DQ. There's going to be all the bells and whistle. The Don Callis family will be around, I assume. I assume Briscoe's friends and the conglomeration will also be around. I expect this to be fun, chaotic, but unfortunately, I'm feeling like Briscoe's going to lose another one and have to join this damn Don Callis family, Phil.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All of the usual wrestling tropes kind of tell me that Mark is going to win here. Because, I mean, you've done 3 matches. How do you do 3 matches and have him lose all 3? Like that? Yeah. I don't know how do you move forward with Mark after that. And I don't know what you really do with Mark as a member of the Don Callis family. And then also, Kyle also pointed out that he's close to beating the record for the most defenses for the TNT title. And usually, when a heel points those kind of things out, that's kind of the sign that they're going to lose. So I don't know, but I think like with all of that in my mind, like with all that logic, I keep thinking like, yeah, it feels like Mark's winning logically, but I don't know, man. It kind of feels, my gut's kind of telling me that Kyle's winning though. I don't know what it is about it. I mean, maybe this is your way to getting to Kyle versus Kyle again, and Kyle eventually challenges Fletcher for the TNT title. I think you've got a great story there, especially with some of the stuff with Adam Cole as well. It makes a lot of sense for him to be the one that beats Fletcher. I just don't know if it's a good idea to have Mark lose 3 times, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing why it's hard. But I'm like, I don't see Fletcher losing it, though. But Briscoe losing again just doesn't help. It doesn't help him at all either, Pluggo. I don't know.
No. I'm torn on this one as well because again, there's interest and intrigue on how you would incorporate Mark Briscoe into the Don Callis family. Like obviously, he's not somebody, let's say, that was handpicked by Don Callis. This is more of a ha we got you type thing. So I think they would treat him like shit if he ended up in the family. So I think you could do something, but that only works for so long, in my opinion. Like you have to pull the trigger on it quick. So. Is he in there forever? And then I will say this, though, about Kyle Fletcher. What I've really enjoyed about him is that he's the heel, but he's a heel that's not afraid of anything. Because when they like booked this match, the reporter, the interviewer was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?" Like, he's so confident.
Yeah.
He goes, "I'll take on anything," and he was super confident with Hangman in that situation.
Mhm.
So I'm not quite ready for Kyle to be done as TNT champion because I think he's done a great job. But again, it's this thing where it's like you can't keep putting Mark Briscoe in these situations and not having him come away with something here. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge TNT title reign for Mark Briscoe, but it would be like, I'm going to say Kyle, but I don't love it, right? Like, I just don't love it because I don't know. But, that very exclusive but not exclusive Don Callis family is going to add another member.
Yep.
There's going to be 25 of them.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm surprised Don Callis remembers all their names. I bet if you asked Don Callis to name off every member of the family, he would forget a couple.
Yeah. There's a lot of Don Callis on TV recently as well.
Yeah. They need the "Hello, my name is" badges. Like,
the name tags.
I just don't know. I just don't know that we needed a third match for these guys. And that's kind of my issue with this as well.
Is there nobody else in the TMT realm that we could think of that could do something with Kyle where you get something fresh, where you don't have to put yourself in that corner of either taking it off of Kyle or putting it on Mark, which isn't always a bad thing, but I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kyle O'Reilly would have been great, but he's doing things with Mox. So
yeah,
Roderick Strong maybe.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Kyle is winning here, though. That's my gut. Logically, it makes more sense for Mark to win, but my gut is kind of telling me that Kyle is winning.
Yeah, I think that's where we're all kind of not so sure, but we think it's Kyle that'll retain here. All right, we have a tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It is Brodito defending against FTR. This match should be quite incredible on this show. Brodito just, what a tag team. Like, just kind of put together in that tournament, and they just took off like a rocket, and one of the more over tag teams, just tremendous stuff. But sadly, I think this might be the end of the title reign for Brodito, as I think FTR is going to pull this one out here. Phil, I saw you shaking your head. Are you in agreement? You think this is the end of the road here for the title run for Brodito?
Yeah, I think Boyz II Men is playing. I think this is definitely the end of the road. And what a run it's been. One of the most pleasant surprises.
Damn it! Now that song is playing in my head. It's going to be such in my.
That's a great song, though.
But you know how that goes, and you're going to be like, "Yeah, I'm going to be in bed later, being like this."
The acapella section,
what are you doing? I'm like, Boyz II Men.
Yeah, man. Listen, sometimes R&B stuck in your head. But
That's
yeah,
true.
no, I think this is it. I think the way all of these segments have gone so far. But yeah, what a pleasant surprise Brodito has been this year. Bandito is probably most people's wrestler of the year at this point, with good reason. But man, Brody has not been a slouch either. I think the greatest thing to come out of this is, it's gotten more eyes on Brody King. I think it's the perfect time for it, especially if they lose. Again, you've got the Continental Classic coming up. Brody has been in the Continental Classic every year. This is the year to put him back in. He'll probably have like a better showing this time around in the Continental Classic, hopefully. But yeah, FDR has been tremendous as heels. That segment with Bandito's Abuela at ringside, hilarious. The stuff backstage with Stokely, really, really funny. Even the Steamboat stuff last week, I enjoyed that. Like, they're just so much better as heels, and they've got Stokely basically being their Heenan, and it just works. And obviously, this is leading to a rematch with Big Cope and Christian at some point. I would not be surprised if we get Metalingus after this match is over. So yeah, FDR is going to win here, I think.
I agree. I think we are World's End. If Copeland is done with his filming schedule, which I would think at that point he probably would be, but at World's End, I'm assuming you'll probably be there in Chicago. I think we are going to probably get Copeland going for the titles against FTR and running that back.
I'm going to try to go as well.
There you go. Pluggo, do you think FTR is doing it here as well?
Yeah, I think it's time. And I talked about it with Marina, like kind of a blessing in disguise thing with Buddy Matthews getting injured and then needed something to do with Brody King, and then they threw this together, and they've been fantastic. I thought that this was going to come to an end the last title defense they had, but I think they made the right call here. FTR is hitting all cylinders, and yeah, I think if you want to make World's End a huge deal at the end of the year, no disrespect to Brody King and Brodito, but like it would be Cope, Christian, FTR, big match. And then like you said, you put Bandito and Brody into the C2 and let them show out as individuals and remind us how good they are solo. So I think it's a good piece of business all around. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully, maybe if FTR wins some gold, Stoke can get some hoes. Maybe he can finally get some hoes, man. That's for Stoke. Hoes.
We kind of talked about, obviously, Brody King and Bandito kind of being put together, and what a tremendous pairing. What a tremendous decision to put Stokely with FTR. Mm-hmm. When they first, I know how good these three dudes are at what they do, but that first week when they were paired together, I was like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. And it's not that I didn't think it wouldn't work, but I was kind of like, oh, that's a little random, a little bit. And it has been it's unbelievable. Stokely adds so much to them, and they've somehow gotten even better through Stokely. It's been a really, really good, not pairing, but a really good put together of Stokely with them too. So it's just really good.
Yeah.
All right. Another money match. $1 million at stake.
Here comes the money.
Yeah. It is Kenny Omega teaming up with the Jurassic Express to take on the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. Seems to me that the Young Bucks, seem to be heading maybe to the babyface side of things sooner than later here. Last night they showed a little bit of remorse. Don Callis really putting the heat on about them joining the Don Callis family these last few weeks, where really from the jump, the Bucks have told Don, like, hey, we'll work with you, but we're never joining the family. We're never joining the family. And Callis has really been pushing them these last few weeks, Phil. So it's, and last night I thought they did a really good job of teasing, Kenny comes out, the Bucks are kind of like, we don't want to fight you, but Callis is like, no, we're going to take him out. You're going to give him the BTE trigger. And then they timed it well with Jurassic. There was a good job of kind of foreshadowing and teasing last night. But it seems to me that the Bucks might be having a little remorse here lately, Phil.
Definitely. I think that they're doing quite a few things here with Elite lore that leads me to believe that they are going to turn babyface soon. And the other thing is, if we know anything about this tag division and where AEW has been since FDR has joined this company, if FDR heals, then those guys got to be baby faces. If the Bucks are heels, FDR is going to end up being baby faces. It's inevitable.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I liked yesterday's little piece of business with like the Bucks kind of like, I'm not sure what they would. For a long time I was like on the bandwagon of I don't trust Jack Perry in this whole thing. Like he switched from that scapegoat to Jungle Man, Bear Grylls out of nowhere, and I was like, he's going to be the one that turns. But I think ultimately, however it goes down, the Don Callis influence is going to be there Saturday. They're going to get involved. I think they're going to put the Bucks in some corner with Kenny, and the Bucks are going to pick Kenny. And then, I just think that that's how it's going to go. I think that I hate to say that they kind of like teed this one up where it's like that's what's happening, but the match is going to rule, but that is what's happening. Kenny and the boys are going to win, and then they're going to beat them down, and then the Bucks are going to be like, nah, and then we're all going to cheer that the Bucks are back, baby. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Very curious, how does this play into the end of this year for the Bucks? They have been very unpopular in the city of Chicago for the last few years.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine you're going to pull the trigger on this babyface turn unless you're ready with something hot enough to turn that crowd in Chicago. And I'm not saying that that's impossible. It can happen, but I'm just wondering what the timetable on this is. But it's inevitable. I mean, we're getting Super Kick Party or whatever theme music they're going to go back to as Babyface at some point.
Hopefully
I have to
it's
assume
Zumba,
we're getting.
dude.
I assume we're getting a trios match with them on
Yeah, I
Kenny
would-
Omega's side at
Yeah.
some point. Maybe the return of Wayward Son. I would be very much
that'd be
here for
great.
that.
Yes.
I would get a big pop out of that. One of my favorite AEW moments ever was them returning to the company after all of the brawl out stuff and to Wayward Son at the pay-per-view. Like everything about that was just so cool. That silhouette of them and the music is playing and the pyro goes off and you can see Kenny Omega in the background like yelling, "Let's go!" Like one of the greatest things ever, in my opinion. But yeah, I think the baby faces are winning here. I think this is leading to a big turn for Matt and Nick Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, so you said they haven't been favorites in Chicago. If we get an elite reforming at World's End and it's Kenny, and like that would win the crowd would be. You still think they would be hard on the Bucks?
It depends on what the angle is. I think that the Chicago crowd will play along if it's a storyline that they're invested in. But it just depends on where we are with it. Because I mean, the last time they were here for the show at Aragon, they had that match against the Outrunners, and the Bucks were getting very much booed in that match.
Oh yeah, they sure were. I'm in agreement with you though. I do think the baby faces are winning here. I think Kenny and the Jurassic Express are going to win the million. Yeah, and I was like, oh, do they do it at this show or does it happen on the Dynamite after this show? But
What does a Jungle Man do with $1 million?
I don't know. What does a dinosaur do with $1 million?
More smelting, more knives. And
There we
stuff,
go.
I guess.
There we go. Yeah, but I do agree. I do think that the baby faces are going to win, and we are getting that. The elite are going to be back. The elite are going to be back.
Do you think his jungle friends will scoff at him when he buys like a nice tent? Like, you're not a real jungle man. Look at your comfy pop-up tent you bought with your $1 million.
Well, I mean, he's always been rich. He's a nepo baby. He's always been rich. He's always had a lot of money.
Born rich.
Born into wealth. So, man, my hope at this point, because we did get Kenny Omega challenging for what would have been the unified title for him this year at All In, and he lost. He lost to Kazuchika Okada, and the lore has always been that the Bucks were in his corner for every Okada match. And when he did finally beat Okada in their great trilogy of matches in New Japan, you had that great shot of him on the Bucks' shoulders when he won. And I do think we're leading to Kenny Omega eventually being back healthy enough to win a world championship. It only feels right if when he does win, the Bucks are by his side.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I would love that. And speaking of that world championship, another former member of the Elite, Hangman Adam Page, will be defending once again. This is one of those rematches from last month against Samoa Joe. However, this time it will be inside a steel cage. I mean, this one to me is an easy one. I mean, I think this is one of the easier. I don't think Hangman has. I don't think he's losing at all. I love Samoa Joe. I think this match will be good, but this is one of those matches you mentioned at the top when we were talking about just the lead-in. This is a rematch that I think we probably didn't need. However, I love both these guys. I think this will be a fine. I don't think it should main event. I think the match we'll talk about last should be the main event of this show. But this will be good. This will be good. But there's no chance in hell Hangman loses.
This is a vehicle to get him to who he's going to face at World's End, right? Like, and all I want out of this match, because I think we all in agreement who's winning, I want it to truly be just Joe, just Hangman, just steel cage, just brawling for 15, 20 minutes. Like, I want us to get that classic Samoa Joe. I don't need all the ops guys. I don't need, you know what I mean? Just give me that. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think a certain somebody with three letters in his name is going to return here. Because he still has a shot. He still has a shot. He still has that shot.
Yep, sure does.
I agree that I think this is the vehicle to his next challenger for sure. And you needed another match to cement this heel turn for Joe as well. So I don't mind the rematch. But yeah, Joe's not winning here. I don't see Hangman losing. I think Hangman is winning, and like you said, we've got MJF lingering with this contract. Maybe this is the way that he returns. But I think it makes more sense because the last time the Hangman was in a cage match, it was against Swerve Strickland, and I really love the idea of Hangman holding that belt above his head, and the cage is going up, and then we hear "Whose house?" Stares at him from the top of stares at him from the top of the ramp, and we know where this is going. I would be all for that.
Me too. I didn't even think about that until you just said it, and yeah,
that's what Phil does. And he comes on the show, and we're like, we think we know what's going to go down, and then you throw that at us. And we go, yeah, wait, damn,
yeah.
That would be perfect.
I listen. Swerve and Hangman can fight for the end of till the end of time, and that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, oh God. See, now if that doesn't happen. I
want it so bad.
I know.
He's been posting more and more things that make it seem like he's ready to return.
I have noticed that. As well.
I don't know. I would love it. And then I also really like the idea of us thinking like that's the big match heading in the World's End. Hangman versus Swerve, and the guy that ruins the party, the guy that ruins the chance for Swerve to win his belt back is Max.
Yeah, that would be fun. Man, that would be a lot of fun. All right. Yeah, because he has that briefcase, but he has to declare it a week in advance now, right? Like that's the rule. He has to declare that, so he can't just do it like cash-in style. So yeah.
The fact that he still has the contract is the stupidest thing ever, but
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I knew we weren't going to let him burn that contract on that one opportunity, and then they pulled it off, and then all of a sudden Tony Khan like retroactively goes, now you got to wait at least a week, and you have to announce it. And I was like, I think the cash-in contract for them has been the greatest move on their part. Then to add that to it, you just kind of took kind of the excitement out of it.
Yeah. I'm starting to believe more and more as well. I don't think it'll happen in December. I believe that Max is going to be the guy that beats Hangman. I think he's going to be the next champion.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it would happen at World's End. I think Hangman would carry it a little bit. Maybe we get to Revolution or something like that and it happens. But yeah, I do think Max will be the guy that eventually does take it from Hangman, and then you can kind of, if you want to do that, your angle you talked about, you go Swerve and MJF. That's a match we haven't really seen yet. Like that would be a nice little thing. You could go a lot of routes that way as well. All right, then we are at what I hope will be the main event of the evening. I feel like these two are deserving of having that mantle. It is a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. It is the third. Well, they had two great matches last year, but Kris Statlander, the champion, against the challenger Mercedes Moné, who's up to 13 championships. Listen, Mercedes won the two matches last year, two of the better matches.
13.
She has 13 now. Yeah, she won. Yeah, Mercedes beat her the last couple times in two really, really great matches. Statlander won the title. She had a signature victory over Tony. Are we thinking that this is another signature? I feel like Statlander needs to win this one to beat Mercedes, get another signature win. Beating Tony and Mercedes clean back-to-back really establishes her title run. And then she can kind of move on to maybe fresher faces and stuff like that for her. I think that's the route they go, and I think that this eventually will. I thought the loss to Tony at All In would have been the catalyst, but I think this loss will be the catalyst to Mercedes' world start to crumble, and maybe 2026 is about her losing all these belts and kind of hitting rock bottom. Phil, I don't know if that's what you think this is going to go, but I have Statlander beating Mercedes clean here and retaining.
Yeah, I've seen both sides of this argument. I've seen people that are like you that think that Statlander needs to win here. I've also seen people say with Mercedes star power, it doesn't make sense for her to be in this company and not be world champion at this rate. But I just don't think I don't think this is it. I don't think this is the crowning moment for Mercedes. I still think that she's treating all these belts like trinkets. She's still like hoarding accolades to, protect her legacy, and she's showing more and more every time somebody makes light of her legacy or like interrupts her or something. She's getting even more angry. And I mean, that was really the point of the puppet segment that some people hated, is that she wouldn't have been as gotten to and thrown off by Harley being out there with the puppet if she wasn't so insistent, like, no, I'm the greatest. All of these belts prove I'm the greatest. It doesn't matter if I'm not world champion. I'm the greatest. But I think like Statlander, for where she's at right now, it makes more sense for Statlander to win. Especially because Statlander has been really pushing this idea this year of like, hey, all you guys keep treating me like I'm the same wrestler. That's why Tony didn't see this coming. That's why you guys didn't see this coming. Mercedes treating it the same way. Oh yeah, I didn't come back and try to challenge Tony after Tony beat me and I was shook. I came back and tried to challenge somebody that I know I can beat because I've beat her twice. I think this Statlander is going to win.
Pluggo?
Yeah, so with Statlander, I look at it like the title reign doesn't have to be a long one. I think the decision to put it on her was like when you talked with Penelope Ford about the tags, I was like, thank you for all of your, like you're a day one person, you've been crushing. But I don't know if it's time for Mercedes, but it optically, like you said, she's the biggest star in the company, and people are like, why don't you put the belt on her? Why doesn't she have the belt? But here's the thing with Mercedes Moné. If she did win, everybody'd be like, oh, look, they're just catering to her. She's going to win the belt.
Just another belt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, look at this. We're just Mercedes Hogan. So I think it would make a lot of sense for Stat to get the win here and really cement this title reign as important. And then maybe this starts I don't want to say the crumbling foundation of Mercedes and all of these belts start to slowly erode, but maybe she starts to think like, maybe I shouldn't be treating these as just toys and I need to get a little bit more serious and I need to ramp my game up here because I've had this is her second world title opportunity or third, and she's lost them. She would have lost them both.
Yeah. So for me, I personally think, I don't think Mercedes wins the AEW World Championship until she's a babyface. I think that's what they should do. Like she loses.
I actually think the same thing. I've been thinking that as well.
Yeah, she loses here. She gets more insecure. She starts losing her titles over the next however time, and she's grumbling and crumbling and crumbling until she is at rock bottom, and then she builds herself back up as a babyface to eventually finally win the title, sometime next year, however long you want to do it, as a babyface where everyone is rooting for her to win the title. I think that's where they kind of go here. I know you said you agree, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking as well. I think she's going to get the win as a babyface. And I think the most telling thing about this entire build is that little video package they aired last night where Statlander was like, nah, focus on me. Like you're everywhere else. You're focused on all of these things. Focus on me. I'm the person you should be worried about. You're going everywhere else in wrestling. You got all these plates spinning. But yeah, I think you're so sure you can beat me because you've done it twice. But people remember she narrowly defeated Statlander in that second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it makes much more sense for Statlander to win. And I don't think that they should get into a situation with Mercedes where she's still holding the TBS title and winning a world title. Because every time that's happened where you book a double champion, forget all the other championships. Just in this company, if you have Mercedes still holding that TBS title, it gets harder and harder to get yourself out of that corner to get one of those belts off of her.
Because you also then you also by de facto make the TBS title not as important, right? It doesn't matter. It's still important, but she's going to go, well, obviously the world title, if I still have that and I lose this one, I'm still okay. So yeah, I don't want to see her as the double champ in that sense, but I think we got to figure a way to get this TBS championship off of her.
Yeah, and I mean this TBS title run has really run its course. Of course, obviously she's going to go down as at this point the greatest TBS title holder we've had, but you've done it. Like we've
twice pretty much.
we've done the match of the week stuff with her every week. I mean,
Mhm.
you've done the challenger of the month thing with her for this belt. She probably has the most defenses at this point. She's broken Jade's record. There's nothing else to do with this belt. It's time to move on.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about Megan Bayne earlier. I think, you can do a lot of things. She loses to Megan Bayne. You run back her and Harley Cameron, and maybe she loses embarrassingly to Harley Cameron. Willow, whatever you want to do. There's options to do it, but I do think another loss on Saturday should be just the doubt creeps further, and you start to break away these things that she's holding to keep her insecure. She's holding these titles to keep her insecure, like you said, her legacy. Well, I'm the greatest. Look at all these belts. That's why I'm the greatest. Okay, well, if she starts losing all the belts, then she can't say that anymore. Because everyone's going to be like, oh, where are all your belts? You used to have 13. Now you only have 3. So are you the greatest? And it just kind of, you just build and build and build to it, and I think that's the route. I think that might be the 2026 or the start to it for Mercedes is her, starting to lose these kind of one by one and stuff. I think it's a good way to go.
And then she goes, I lost all my belts because I wasn't focused, and now I'm refocused, and I'm going to go after. There you go.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
How long does it take her to lose 13 belts? Like, how do you do it?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
Like, how long do we pull that out?
How long?
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I ask it, not only like logistically, that's a lot of titles on a lot of different companies, and that would be if you wanted to do that over the course of, let's say, 2026. That is a lot of losses on her resume. But how quick do you want to do it? How fast do you want the demise to be? Like, what's the sweet spot for her to be? For her to be like, oh shit, this is happening quicker than I thought. Like, I look up and shoot, I'm down to 6 titles. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you got to play it. They got to figure out a good way to play it so it does hit harder. Because if she just goes the first month of 2026 and loses 13 belts, like, you're gonna go, oh shit, okay.
Yeah,
but it's
fair.
You play it up until like All In, maybe would be at like in July there. Maybe that's the way to go over the first 6 months of the year, and then that back 6 months of 2026, we go, this is the babyface Mercedes, and then maybe we're looking back in November next year towards like Full Gear, World's End, going, here's where we crown Mercedes, the new champ, something like that. Is that what we're thinking?
She could spend the first, 5 or 6 months because it's all, a lot of them are different countries too, so she's gonna have to travel and to kind of do what she's been doing. She can spend the first 6 months if losing all these titles, and then you get to the Owen tournament. She's the champion from the Owen tournament. She enters the Owen, and she's already kind of at her low point or whatever, and she's like, this is my last chance to, whatever. Like, I've lost I don't know, and she wins the Owen again, gets to All In. Maybe has her, there's, something like that.
14 titles is great, but now we have to figure out what to do with them all.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's me, if you're giving me the pencil, I think the way to get this ball rolling is for her to drop the TBS title first, because I think that escalates her not being on AEW television for a little bit, because she hasn't lost 2 matches in a row with this company yet. And so losing a world title match and then losing the TBS title, that's a way for her to then be off TV for a while. You can facilitate her starting to lose some of these belts. Then, like you said, she enters the Owen thinking like, all right, I'm going to make it to the finals of Owen like I did last year. I am the current holder of the Women's Owen Cup. And then when she gets to the finals of the Owen Cup, Tony is her opponent.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's a good way. Yeah, no, I think this is I think even the stuff with Mercedes is going to get very interesting and entertaining over the next 6 months to even longer than that. I think we're going to see some really good stuff happening on her end of things. And I think Saturday, we talked.
No, I think Tanner, our boy Tanner here, I think he gave you the pencil right there. That's Phil gets the pencil.
Well, I think there's a lot of great things you could do. I'm sure some people wouldn't be happy with the idea because Tony and Mercedes are pushed so heavily ahead of a lot of other women. But you've got such an interesting dynamic there that Mercedes has kind of avoided Tony since she lost to Tony.
Yep.
And Tony has really gone into the Owen every time as champion, and she's like worried about the winner of the Owen gunning her for her, whether it be Mariah or Mercedes the next year. This is her chance to actually win it and call her shot and try to win the belt back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice change.
Yeah, that would. I like that.
Listen, I know people complain about pushing Tony and Mercedes, but god damn it, they are so good right now. Yeah. If you're hating on Mercedes right now, I don't think you're really paying attention as closely as we are. Like, and then Tony's just world renowned. Like, they're killing it, so it's rightful, and they're making people on the way. That match with Red Velvet last night was great. Like, so if you watch that because you're watching Mercedes, like, oh shit, the Red Velvet's really good too. Tony and Mina killing it right now. Everybody that Windsor and Riho had a great showing against them. So like, it's working out. So yeah, like you said, I think we keep pushing them until the rest of the division is starting to catch up. So it's cooking right now. 2025 has been a banner year, I think, in the women's division for AEW there.
I agree.
So WWE, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah. Yeah. The other belts, I'm not as sure. You've got this Ring of Honor Television Championship on her. I think that you really did a disservice to Mina with this interim Ring of Honor title reign. You've been pushing this story of Mina versus Mercedes this entire year. Mercedes has had her number this entire year. If anybody beats her for the television title, it should be Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Losing to Mina, losing to Tony. Like, that messes with your psyche too, right? The timeless love bombs, you just can't get, you just can't figure those two out.
But if you look at it, we think she's gonna lose to Stat on Saturday. So she's like losing to all, she hasn't beaten Tony, but she's had Stat's number to this point. She loses to Stat. She has Mina's number. She should lose that title to Mina. Maybe they do a Harley Cameron thing where she's had Harley's number and kind of treated her like shit. She loses
or Willow.
Harley or Willow. Yeah. Like, she has all this history of having people's numbers. In this journey of her crumbling and losing, she should be losing to these people to add intrigue. She's not just losing to anybody. She's losing to the people that she's had no problem with.
And when she signed with AEW, was the division needs me. I want to make this division. She said, I want to make this division better. I want to make women's history. And in storyline and in real life, the women's division has caught up to her. Right. So now she's fighting all these people off, and it maybe back then her taking those losses would have made sense. But like you said, we just named 5 or 6 women, right? We're like, that makes sense. So she's done a great piece of business. I get kind of really annoyed with the way that she's perceived in the internet wrestling community. It's like, she's doing a good piece of business for so many people right now. You're just not watching. You're just a hater.
Yeah.
But I digress. We could talk about the haters all day.
Yeah. I think the biggest telling point is when Lyric did that breakdown of all of the women that she's faced this year that ended up on the PWI Women's 250, that either their status on that list raised or they didn't make the list before and they were on nobody's radar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the indie aspect of it alone, and I know people are like, the contrarian people are like, oh, she's just going into these, taking her money and taking the belts. And listen, and I know about Winnipeg Pro Wrestling because I do a show with the ring announcer, right? And like, I pay attention to indies, but like Winnipeg Pro, right? Like, we're talking about them. You're talking about all these indie promotions she's going into. It's a good thing for everybody. Exposure is important. So you're right.
You don't think an independent wrestling company from Italy, when given the chance to have Mercedes Moné come in and win their championship, is like, no, why would we want that?
Yeah, why would
you an idiot
want to do that?
Like, do you know how many eyes that automatically puts on that company? You have one of the biggest wrestlers in the world as your champion.
And it does something to the effect of, like, what were we talking about? I was listening to Natty and Cody Rhodes because she was talking about her book, and she was like, so many women in the locker room found me because of Total Divas, right? So that little Italy promotion that Mercedes goes to, there might be some fan going, ooh, I could do this. I would love You know what I mean? It's good for these small promotions too. It's good for women's wrestling. It's good for somebody that may not like, oh, Mercedes Moné is going to come to my town, this big AEW former WWE star. Man, I want to do that. It is so cool, right? It's a good thing for everybody. And I think she just gets this weird hate because of the way she left the other company.
And just her, her confidence level, a lot of things she says.
Yeah, confident women, people get weird about.
And this is like unprecedented for a Black woman in this business. Like, it just, Black women are not usually booked this way or paid the way she's being paid. It's just different. But yeah, to you guys, your point, like a lot of these indie promotions, like your championship is on cable television now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weekly because she's holding your belt, and like the exposure she's getting of like CMLL and like the amount of exposure that she's gotten on that belt, like all these promotions, Rev Pro, like that's helped them. Like the title defense that she's had with Rev Pro, getting to use her for appearances for your show, that's absolutely helping them. And then when you look at how these women are talking about her after they wrestle her, and they're like in tears, and they're like, "This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. This is like the highlight of my career so far." And it's like, yeah, I mean, the Muslim wrestler she just wrestled at the House of Glory show that has been, of course, like a big historic wrestler for all this time because she wears the hijab, and like the exposure that gave to her, and like I just don't understand how people don't see what this is doing. And if you're mad that she keeps winning, if you're mad that she keeps loading, you're supposed to be. She's a bad guy. I don't understand how you guys don't get that. This is wrestling.
That's for sure. She's a heel. We're supposed to boo her. And also the stuff she does on anytime any women's wrestler posts a picture of a title, Mercedes comments on that post, and then you see it and you go, oh, I'm going to check this out. Here's the new wrestler. And that's the thing. If you've never seen a Rev Pro show, you're going to watch because Mercedes is on it. And then you're watching it and you go, oh, who's this? Who's this? Oh, cool. Like I found a new wrestler that I find interesting. Let me give them a follow. And it just works out. And then all of a sudden you go, I remember watching that Rev Pro show and that person's on WWE television or AEW television. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Some of these people that act like they don't understand.
Wrestling fans,
it's people that have been watching wrestling longer than I have.
Yeah, more than anybody.
Yeah. It's
just,
like it's crazy. Like this was the whole bit of Ric Flair at one point being a traveling champion, and people wanted him to lose. Like that's the point.
And now it's celebrated. That's like this. Remember when Rick was just winning all them belts But keep that same energy for Mercedes.
It's literally the same thing. Like she's not like what she's doing is, especially on the women's side of it, is like a revolutionary, once in a lifetime thing that she's doing. But she's doing stuff that has been done before that was heralded when it was done before, and she's doing it in in a more modern current time, and everyone's fucking shitting on it.
We're not gonna see this anytime soon because you know how corny it would be for the next person to be like, I'm gonna win 14 belts. She figured out something and she ran with it, and she's got, I don't know, man. I love it. I think it's great. So you know what? Maybe she should beat Statlander. Give her 100 belts.
Well, let's
give her 100.
100
just
belts.
put all the belts on her.
Ever beat Hangman too. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, just have it happen apparently. No, but no, it is. Yeah, I don't understand. I never will understand some way some people just look at things. But that is Full Gear. Should be a great show on Saturday. We got a couple minutes. Phil, I saw you put out a tweet about Braun Breaker the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to talk about it because I agreed with you 1,000%. I understand why they did the moment of Braun spearing Seth because Seth was injured and they had to write him up. Whatever. I get it. You had to do it on the fly. Injury you weren't expecting. Fine. But, I'll let you kind of go into it. But ever since that, I don't understand what the fuck they're doing with Braun Breaker.
He's a lackey for Logan Paul and Brock Lesnar.
That's what it seems like.
At least in this War Game.
Yeah, so I saw your tweet and I was like, I'm going to make sure that I mentioned that because I agreed with you fully. So I wanted to have you go into like kind of your whole point and kind of because I agree with you 1,000%.
if people did not see the tweet, I said I couldn't believe that Braun Breaker is not in a last time is now tournament. I don't understand the direction with him. And a lot of people were telling me he's not in it because he's not going to win. Well, why can't he just win?
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't understand. And I mean, I know I've said that because I've seen people say they want Obafemi to be in it. And my point from the beginning is don't put Oba in it if he's not winning.
Mhm.
And I'm of the same opinion with Braun. Yeah, don't put him in it if he's not winning. But why isn't he the guy that's going to be in here to retire John Cena? You've been earmarking this guy as the guy since NXT 2.0. I think most people that have been watching the product since NXT 2.0 can tell that he's really going to be the next big thing. He's going to be the next big face of this company. And if that's the case, yeah, the guy that should retire like the most notable face of this company for over a decade in John Cena should be Braun Breaker. And if you're not going to do that, it's like, what are you doing then? And I've seen people say, well, it would be a step backwards to put the IC championship back on him, assuming that John Cena is going to walk into his final match as IC champion.
Yeah.
Sure. But to me, even if you're just putting the IC title on him, beating Cena means so much more than that championship. It really signals to the fan base that this guy is next up. And I don't think it does the same thing for Gunther. And I'm not one of those people that thinks that Gunther shouldn't retire him. I'm fine with Gunther retiring him as well. But it just means something different for Braun Breaker because of this guy's 27 years old. Like I said, you've really painted this picture from the beginning that he's next up. If you really want to drive that point home, then don't do this half measure shit that you do with everybody else. Really stamp your foot down on a pedal and make him the guy like you did with Brock, like you did with other people. Like, I don't understand. And it's especially, I get it wasn't the plan. You were going to do this turn on Rollins later. But this fell into your lap and people liked it. That was the most talked about thing coming out of that show was him attacking Seth Rollins and being assertive, stepping forward, not standing behind him anymore, standing next to Paul Heyman with that belt draped over his shoulder. It makes no sense for him as a character to do that and then end up right back in the background behind Logan Paul. That makes no sense.
Yep.
And not explaining it. That's the other thing. And I keep like Saturday night's main event. Why isn't Braun Breaker at the top of that ramp when CM Punk won that belt going, I'm still here, buddy. Seth's gone, but I'm still here. I'm going to be a thorn in your side because I held that gold, even if it wasn't jest. I held it and I won it now. Like, they've done none of that shit. I know the War Games thing comes up. Yeah, it's been interesting because it looked when you watch it optically now, it's Braun Breaker back in the background with Bronson and Logan's up front.
And
it's like,
and I would get that if you had something more interesting than Braun being the guy, and Braun is like, if Braun is behind somebody and they're coming out there cutting promos and lighting it up, sure. This Logan Paul stuff isn't good.
Yeah.
Like the segments he's had with Punk have been awkward. They're not good. And then you just add Brock back to the mix. It just shows that they're doing the same thing they've done all year, and they're relying on names and they're relying on nostalgia. You've got a guy that's 27 and your company has an age problem. Make this guy the guy. I don't understand what is the holdup, bro. Like I said, this company with this half measures, they did it with Jay earlier this year. He won a Rumble. He's kind of the guy, but when it gets to the actual point of making him the guy, we're going to put him in the opener, even though Roman Reigns did not win the Elimination Chamber. He did not win the Royal Rumble, but he still gets the main event spot. Why?
Because he's main
the guy he eliminated in the Royal Rumble got the main event spot and he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, and so they're good for this. Even Cody, half steps. He comes in, wins the Rumble. Oh, he's got to lose because adversity. No, just give him the win.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Just give him the win.
Yeah. And we could talk a lot about this because you mentioned the age problem. I look at what happened on Monday night and I look at Javon Evans and I look at the match he put on with Gunther, and it is clear as day and has been clear as day for a long. That guy is not a future star of the company. He is a current star.
And he lost clean to Dark State.
And then I look at it and I go, well, he's 21, so you know what's going on. It's going to be a decade before we need this guy to be. It's like, dude, what the fuck? When Brock came around in 2002, you didn't wait around 6 months.
No,
you didn't wait around. And Braun is more of where Brock is in the current stat. Like, so yes, but like I look at somebody like a young, clear, that guy is over. He's already baby. Like, it's like, bro, like
he came on Gold Rush in a 6'7" t-shirt. He's there for, like, that's the fan base you should be wanting to grab their attention, because those are the kids that are that's gonna be my son going, Dad, I want a Javon Evans shirt, Dad, I want, and not Brock Lesnar, like he's a badass and all, but it's like, yeah, it's weird. It's so weird what they do. And they only do this really on the men's side of things. The women, if they'll pull like a Tiffany Stratton, they'll pull the trigger. But with the men, for some reason, they go, you have to hit some weird threshold before we're like, and I love CM Punk. He's my number one guy. He always has been. But he looks old out there. You know what I'm saying? Like he walks out there and he looks old, and you're just like, I don't understand how today's fan base is going to go like, that's my guy, right? Like, that's my dude. But Javon is, Braun Breaker's cool. He's got an aura to him. Those are two guys that you should foundationally be like, we got to get these guys on TV and have them get some wins.
And I saw people that are like, they didn't want to give him the win at Saturday Night Main Event because they don't want him to be cheered. They want his moment. They want him to get booed because he's a heel here. Hey, man. You guys write the stories.
Yeah.
What am I missing here? You're telling the story. If you want to get heat on the guy, tell the story to get people to boo him. Hey, you know what got him booed? I don't know. Entering this tournament and completely annihilating John Cena in his final match and then standing over this guy like he's nothing.
Yep.
Not even that.
I don't know.
Have him destroy Sheamus on the way. Like, have him destroy all of the people where we're like, oh, that would be a cool match for Cena to have. Kill Sheamus. Kill them all. And then get to John and just wreck him.
Bro,
like,
you got it right there. Sheamus has been saying, I want to be IC champion. This means something to me. I want to be a Grand Slam champion. Have Braun be the guy that takes him away from him. Have Braun get all the way up to the match, beats him for the IC title, comes out Raw and goes, hey, man, this meant something to John Cena. This meant something to Sheamus. This don't mean anything to me. I'm vacating this title. I want to be world champion. That's going to get him booed. How is that not? I don't understand. Like, and I'm not even really a fan of doing the vacate angle, but there's so much you could have done with that of him like, man, none of this matters to me, man. I want to be world champion. That is why I took Seth Rollins out. That is why I've done all of this. CM Punk is my opponent. He's my target. Now that John Cena's out of here, he's next.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, you just got to do something creative, something different. And like you said, on the men's side, I thought what they did with Maxine Dupree and having her beat Becky on Monday, I thought that was excellent because it was different and it was something out of the blue and it was cool and it was the way they did it was great. But they just, like you said, Pluggo, it feels like they have their handful to half a dozen guys at the top of the men's division, and that's what it is. It's always going to be revolving around them, and everyone else is just going to have to wait. And you got these younger studs. Carmelo Anthony, Jesus Christ. Carmelo Hayes has been doing nothing for 2 years.
Carmelo's.
Yeah, we were talking about, but Carmelo Hayes has been doing nothing for a year and a half.
Look at the
nothing.
Look at the WrestleMania poster and who's in the poster. And I understand that those guys have earned it. They've made that level, but you have to start feeding that undercard and get those names. You have to do it, and they just won't do it for the life of them. Even to the point where I would like Braun Breaker, if you're not going to do what Phil said or what you said, have him be such a wild card that Heyman's like, I can't even control this guy. Like, he's chomping at the bit. Why aren't you knocking on Pierce's door going, yeah, you can have that battle royal, not put me in it, but I'm busting it up. You know what I mean? And like, make it to something where you're like, there's this guy, basically he's become like background noise. I want him to be like, oh shit, Paul's like, I can't even, I've dealt with Brock, I've dealt with Punk, I've dealt with Solo, Roman, but this guy, I can't control him. I don't know what he's going to do. And have him bust up a last time is now thing, or have him busting up that battle royal. Like they were just like, it was such a cool moment when he walked out with that belt. He got out of that car and everybody went, hell yeah. That's what we want. Yeah. And they went, you guys want it? We're going to turn it down a little bit.
I think you had, to your point, you had it right there of him, all of this and him coming back there and him listening to Paul saying, look, you'll have your moment. Like Pierce is going to be Pierce. He took you out of the battle royal, but we'll get there. The immediate thing you should have done is been like, what makes you think I need your advice? I didn't ask you if I should attack Seth. Seth needed your advice. Roman needed your advice. Punk needed you to be his advocate. I don't need you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
and that's
sure.
The whole time I was like, him and Bronson should get out there and make sure there isn't a winner of that battle royal. They didn't do it. And then I even said him and Bronson should be out there and ruin that world title match at Saturday night's main event.
That's what I said.
What they should have done. And he should be like, nobody is being that next world champion except me. I'm the next world champion. And just fucking do it. And just do it.
Because you suspended Drew McIntyre on Friday night. He somehow managed to get his way to the War Games. Again, you write the show. You could figure out a way to bust up a world title match.
Yeah, it's just,
and even if you were going to put the belt on Punk at Saturday Night Main Event, again, you should have immediately got back to it of Braun saying, no, I'm going to be the guy that beats you. And you add Logan Paul to the mix. For what?
Yeah.
Listen, somebody tweeted at me or posted on Facebook at me that said Paul Heyman is the ultimate homie hopper. That dude just
obviously.
I'm gonna go get Logan Paul. And again, explain to me in the storyline have Paul explaining to Bronson and Braun why you're bringing in Logan Paul. Why we need, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's for a War Games match. We all get that. But I need you to explain to me on TV why these are the guys that you want to align with and why you want to be in the War Games match anyway.
Yeah. And then
Paul did explain it where he goes, if you don't enter the Battle Royal, you don't have to deal with 20 guys. You only have to deal with 2. They haven't done any follow-up to that, but at least he explained like why they didn't get in. So you don't have to fight 20. You just have to worry about 2. Why do you need to align with Logan and Brock? What's the purpose of this? What gets us to Braun Breaker getting a world championship, which is what he wants? Like, explain it to me. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, because again, from Braun's point of view, why do we need Logan? Braun is looking like, hey, I took Seth out. When we got a match against Roman, Bronson took Roman out. We have had no problem with Roman all year. We have been kicking this guy's ass all year. Why do we need Logan Paul?
Yeah. It's and I don't understand why Braun would just be okay. Like he takes out Seth, he's holding the belt, he's talking like he's the next main guy, he's the next guy, and now he's totally okay with being fourth fiddle in a War Games match with Brock, Braun, and Drew. Like that doesn't. And maybe something happens in the War Games match where Braun and or Bronson say F you. Maybe something happens. I don't know. But like, I just don't understand the mentality shift of Braun that first week and 2 weeks after saying, I'm the guy, I took Seth out, I'm the guy, to just being like, all right, cool, I'll be the fourth guy. Makes no fucking sense at all.
Hasn't cut a promo, hasn't said anything since then.
No,
he's just been behind Logan Paul and Paul Heyman. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And if you're just gonna kick the can down the road, whatever. But you could have done stuff to connect those storylines in a better way, and they haven't even attempted to. And at this point, you're cooling the guy off when you had a storyline that fell in your lap.
Yeah.
And unfortunately too, on top of it, if you think of they don't have any real reason to connect the dots, right? Because for War Games, that's why we're doing it. It's War Games. We got to do that. And then we're going to go, well, it's Rumble season. So he'll just be in the right. And it's just going to be, We don't have to do anything. We've got these pay-per-views or these PLEs that are just going to lay it up. And I know the IWC is like, well, it's for War Games, clearly. Yeah, but you have to take the time in your program to explain to us why this is happening so that we go, oh, at least they tried, but they're not, and it's silly, and it bums me out. We need some youth on our television program that we watch every Monday night for sure. It's just bad.
Yeah, and I think it's obvious that Roman is going to main event again. I think it's gonna happen. But you have all of the seeds planted to just do Braun versus Roman at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could just do that.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. All right. But I did want to talk about that a little bit because I saw your tweet and I was like, amen. I was like,
we've all been feeling that way.
Understand what is happening. But no, thank you, Phil, for joining us, giving us over 2 hours of your time. We appreciate you a lot. Obviously, you do a ton in this space, so why don't you let the people know where they can follow you and what you got coming up and what you do on a weekly basis over there.
You can follow me on Twitter. Not as active as I used to be on there, but I'm on there. Phil DL6 at Phil DL616. You can see me every Saturday at noon on Fightful's YouTube channel, hosting Grapsody, my co-host Righteous Reg. You can follow our YouTube channel. If you're not, you can subscribe to that. It's youtube.com/@Grapsody. I'm working on potentially getting an interview that is very funny to me that this is a possibility. I can't say any more than that at the moment, but could end up being a pretty big interview for us if we get it.
Nice.
Also can find my writing at Bleacher Report.
Awesome. Pluggo, do the thing, my man.
Well, I got a lot this week, my man. But you can find, this has been a gauntlet week. You can find me at Pluggo on all social media. So you search Pluggo, my face will pop up. JPJ and I just did the Ope 3-Way podcast last night. It dropped right before this. So after you get off this, go check that out. Those guys are a lot of fun. I had the Raw post show and the NXT post show this week. If you want my thoughts deeper on that, go check those out. I had a lot of thoughts on Shiloh Hill. But tomorrow night I'll be hanging out with the Kicking Out podcast boys. I noticed they were in here taking notes on some of my picks because I'm going to be challenging for their KOP champion because we're going to be at Dynamite on the 3rd, and that would be a great time for me to hold up the KOP championship. Also Saturday morning, 4 Exposures back. Me and Blair Pacheco, we're talking LPW 43. The Revolution Rumble is going down on Saturday, so we're going to break that all down. We might have some guests pop in there. We're going to break down some other things that have happened in the independent wrestling podcast as well. I'll be on the Main Event Mixer Saturday at noon talking Full Gear as well. And then I have something that I can't talk about potentially going down Saturday that is super fun, and I'm excited about it. I'll tell you boys off air. But and then at B2Beards on all social media platforms, you go there, you'll find that. That's where we'll be at every Thursday night, 8 p.m. with this guy right here. And then I'm on the Hive, making college football picks and talking Saturday Night Live as well.
Hell.
Yeah. Oh, and I write on Love Wrestling CA as well. I have writings up. I'm working on the Revolution Rumble preview right now. Yeah. Well, not right now, but like after we're done.
Busy man this week.
Too much stuff.
You can follow me, JPJ Loves Gaming, everywhere on all social medias. I release my schedule every Monday over on bodyslam.net after Raw for Raw Dogs and after Dynamite for Dynamite Up. And like he said, every Thursday night right here, the flagship at B2B. I do some stuff for the Hive Media as well, so go check them out. Phil, once again, thank you. We always enjoy when you have the time to join us. It's always a good conversation, talking some wrestling. So appreciate you giving us the time once again. Everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for writing all your comments and stuff. We appreciate the support. We are going to leave you with a little promo for an upcoming Quizplex with some stuff going on. And then we are going to say hi to Sue, and we are going to get up on out of here. So thank you, everybody. We will see you next week. Till then. Peace out.
Peace out. Hi, Sue.
We got Anthony Green coming back on Quizplex next month. Big Bad Boris will be there as well as the co-champion as well. So we're going to be playing in support of Toys for Tots on Tuesday, December 16th. So check that out. All right. Say hi to Sue. Bye.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.